simply have become okay. Recording is progress. So Dhruv, how are things with you?
The things are good. Yeah. I've just been busy with with this kind of work, but yeah, things are nice.
Uh-huh. Uh, and Dr. Arjun, how are you?
Hi, sir. Good evening to you and good evening
Good evening.
to everyone. All good, sir. All going on beautifully. And there are rains in Bangalore, which is beautiful. After a long gap, rains. So it's very nice, sir.
Re- 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 Remember last time I wrote back to you, this too will pass.
Yes, exactly. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. I'm doing very well with God's grace, and
Fantastic,
things are
sir.
fine.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Uh,
आज संजय कुशवाहा भी आ गए हैं। संजय भैया कैसे हो आप? संजय जी, संजय आवाज आ रही मेरी?
Yes, sir.
कुशवाहा,
Yes, sir. So,
कैसे हैं
and
आप?
sir, yes, sir. Mm, Yes, sir. So, mm, mm, mm,
ओके, टेक योर
oh,
टाइम। कोई टेक्निक यूज कर लो,
yeah.
हकला ही लो, खुल के हकला ही लो। क्या बिगड़
So,
जाएगा?
yes,
हकलों
sir.
की महफिल में हकलाने में कोई बुराई नहीं है।
So, sir.
अच्छा, अच्छा ऐसा है, आज हम लोग बात करने जा रहे हैं अबाउट कंसिस्टेंसी। तो फटाफट थोड़ा हम जान लें कि कंसिस्टेंसी से आप लोग क्या समझते हैं। तो हर आदमी एक एक लाइन चैट में लिख दे, आई अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम कंसिस्टेंसी दैट डैश डैश डैश। What do you understand by consistency? So explain in one line your understanding of consistency. It can be in English or in Hindi. And in the meantime, can somebody tell me what is the antonym or opposite of consistency?
Inconsistency.
Inconsistent ना? और कोई वर्ड इनकंसिस्टेंट जैसा? एक और बड़ा अच्छा वर्ड है रैंडम। तो रैंडम एंड कंसिस्टेंट they give opposite meanings. एंड कंसिस्टेंसी क्यों ज़रूरी है हम सब जानते हैं। आप सब ने अगर कुछ भी ज़िंदगी में हासिल किया है, अगर आपने बीए किया है, 12वीं पास की है या जिम में जाके अच्छा बॉडी बनाई है या कुछ भी किया है, तो वो कंसिस्टेंसी के द्वारा ही हुआ होगा, मेरा गेस है ये। हाँ, तो लोग यहाँ पे लोगों ने कुछ अच्छे डेफिनेशन दी हैं कंसिस्टेंसी। रजत ने लिखा है रेगुलर टाइम इंटरवल पर काम करते जाना जब तक वह कंप्लीट नहीं हो जाता। विकास ने लिखा है कंसिस्टेंसी इज नॉट गिविंग अप। इफ यू कांट रन वॉक, इफ यू कांट वॉक क्रॉल, जस्ट कीपिंग वर्किंग टूवर्ड्स गोल इन योर पेस। बिल्कुल सही लिखा है कि अगर आप दौड़ नहीं पा रहे हैं तो सब कुछ छोड़ने के बजाय कम से कम आप चलते रहिए। मतलब एकदम गिव अप करने के बजाय ये है कि आदमी थोड़ा सा उसके नीचे आ जाए और फिर भी प्रयास करता रहे उस दिशा में। संजय ने लिखा है डू थिंग्स रेगुलरली, दिस ऑल्सो इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। एंजॉइंग द प्रोसेस एंड नॉट फोकसिंग ऑन द रिजल्ट हेल्प्स अस टू कीप फोकसिंग ऑन द प्रोसेस। अर्जुन ने लिखा है ये। तो बहुत अच्छा बताया आप सबने। तो हम लोग आज बात करेंगे कंसिस्टेंसी के बारे में, एंड आई विल बी इनवाइटिंग डॉक्टर अमित ऑल्सो to share his opening thoughts on this. But before I hand it over, I just want to ask you that consistency definitely helps us to achieve whatever we have achieved in our life. Passing class 5, passing class 10, graduation, professional training, whatever you have done, it has come through consistency. So let me ask you, is there anything which you can achieve through random I mean, does randomness have any value in life?
Yes.
क्योंकि कंसिस्टेंसी का अपोजिट रैंडम है ना? So yes, Dhruv, go on.
I think it does because then like being spontaneous,
हाँ,
for example, just like making a new friend randomly, it
right.
it can then create more opportunities for you.
Yes, yes, yes,
More,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah. And we've also talked a lot about random acts of kindness. If you're kind to somebody every day, it has become a mechanical habit, then it loses all the fun, all the beneficial effect, the beneficial psychological effect. But if it is random, then it really affects you and that other person also. In the same way, randomness has got one more instance. Since I'm learning programming, so there is this concept of a random number generator. So they say that most of the video programs, whenever you play videogram, you want every time it to have a different look. So therefore, they use random numbers to configure the program in such a way that every time you play it, you find that the pieces, the configuration is different. It's like you're playing a game of luck, and every time you hit 7, you get a reward. But suppose it becomes a pattern. Every time you hit 7, you get a reward. Then the joy goes out of the window. Or then everybody will start sort of complaining also that the game is rigged. So therefore, sometime you win jackpot on number 7, sometime you win jackpot on number 1, sometime on number 3. So randomness has got a limited value in that kind of setting. But the kind of area we are focusing on, human achievement, there randomness has got almost no value. There you have to be consistent. Over to Dr. Amit before we go to breakout room.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. Namaste. Good evening. I guess मैं बस यही ऐड करना चाहता था कि random versus regular ये भी देख सकते हैं if you want to play off the alliteration random versus regular. I like Dhruv's point about randomness being like he connected it to spontaneity. And spontaneity, novelty, ये सब कुछ जो है ये randomness से आता है usually. तो randomness में भी qualities हैं जो हम attractive हैं, जो हमारे लिए beneficial हैं, consistency में भी हैं. तो what can we take out of randomness? जो quality है spontaneity की जो quality है, जो novelty की जो quality है, just keeps things fresh. वो चीज जो है वो कंसिस्टेंट स्केड्यूल में कैसे ले आ सकते हैं. सो I'm thinking in terms of what can we pull जो beneficial हो सकता है हमारे लिए स्टैमरिंग एक्सपीरियंस के लिए. कोई भी चीज नहीं सीखने के लिए नॉवेल्टी इज यूजफुल, स्पॉन्टेनिटी इज यूजफुल. वो चीजें जो रैंडमनेस से आती हैं वो कंसिस्टेंसी में कैसे इन्फ्यूज किया जा सकता है. तो दैट्स व्हाट आई एम थिंकिंग अबाउट. तो हम सोच रहे थे एक्चुअली अगर आप लोग should we put people in breakouts, Dr. Srivastava?
Yeah. Yes, we should.
Okay. तो हम सोच रहे थे कि अगर आप
Vikas, can you? हाँ,
sorry. No, I was just saying
please
prompt
go on.
prompt ये हो सकती है जब आप ब्रेकआउट रूम में जाएंगे कि ऑब्वियसली कंसिस्टेंसी किसी भी चीज के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है. जैसे कि डॉक्टर श्रीवास्तव ने बताया था कि जो भी हमने अचीव किया कंसिस्टेंट से ही अचीव किया है. तो हमारे स्टैमरिंग एक्सपीरियंस को शिफ्ट करने के लिए जो भी चीज कंसिस्टेंटली हम करना चाहते हैं, चाहे वो सेल्फ डिस्क्लोजर है, चाहे वॉलंटरी स्टैमरिंग है, चाहे कोई भी टेक्निक की प्रैक्टिस है, चाहे आई कांटेक्ट है, चाहे अवॉइडेंस रिड्यूस करना, ये सब कुछ जो भी चीज जो है हमारे स्टैमरिंग एक्सपीरियंस को पॉजिटिवली शिफ्ट कर सकती है, जो हमें कंसिस्टेंटली करना है, उस कंसिस्टेंसी की को डेवलप करने के लिए, रेगुलरिटी को डेवलप करने के लिए, और थोड़ी सी उसमें स्पॉन्टेनिटी भी ऐड करने के लिए, ताकि फ्रेश रहे, ताकि नॉवल रहे, थिंग्स वी पुलिंग आउट ऑफ रैंडमनेस। तो क्या कर सकते हैं जिस सिचुएशन में अभी हम हैं, जिस लाइफ फेज में हम गुजर रहे हैं, तो उस लाइफ फेज में हम कौन सी आदतें जो हैं डेवलप कर सकते हैं कंसिस्टेंसी मेंटेन करने के लिए। ये प्रॉम्प्ट है। और इसका इसका जो ये जो सवाल है, ये जो प्रॉम्प्ट है, उसका जवाब जो है यूनिक होगा। तो अंकित की लाइफ में क्या हो रहा है, वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन इन रजत's लाइफ। तो लेट्स थिंक अबाउट अपनी जो सिचुएशन है, अपनी जो निजी सिचुएशन है, पर्सनल सिचुएशन है, उसको अंदाज रखते हुए हम कंसिस्टेंसी कैसे प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं। So let's have an open conversation about this in the breakouts, if that is okay with you, Dr. Srivastav.
हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल, yes yes. So I opened the breakout room. There'll be two group. I'll be joining the room number 2. Dr. Amit is in room number 1.
ठीक है।
And time is not scarce. समय की कमी नहीं है, आप लोग टाइम लेंगे, खूब ब्रेनस्टॉर्म करिए, सोचिए कि हम अपनी स्टैमरिंग की सेल्फ हेल्प वाली प्रोसेस में कैसे वी कैन बी मोर कंसिस्टेंट। what has been stopping us from being consistent। थोड़ा अपना अपना जिंदगी के बारे में सोचेंगे कि अब तक क्यों कंसिस्टेंट नहीं हो पाए हम, क्या चीजें हमें रोक रही थी, आगे हम कैसे हो सकते हैं और कंसिस्टेंट।
What is your question, Vikas?
Okay, so just want to ask, like, should we discuss our consistency related to stammering or in general?
Talk about stammering in I mean, specifically, that's why we are here today. But it's a good question. जो भी चीज आपको कोई और एरिया में लाइफ में जो फायदा हुआ है कंसिस्टेंसी डेवलप करने के लिए, वो अगर आप स्टैमरिंग एक्सपीरियंस में अगर आप सोचें और ले आए, तो वी कैन टॉक अबाउट दैट एज वेल। लेकिन ये कॉन्वर्सेशन जो है, ये कंसिस्टेंसी है, वो प्रैक्टिसेस के लिए है जो हमारे स्टैमरिंग एक्सपीरियंस को पॉजिटिवली शिफ्ट कर सके, ये फोकस है। But obviously we are the same human being whether we are doing this or whether we are doing that. तो जो भी आपको consistency maintain करने में किसी और habit में useful लगा है, तो उसको stammering experience में कैसे लेकर आए, we can talk about that as well. Yeah. All right, see you in breakout 1 soon. Yeah.
I hope everybody got this prompt on the screen to join the breakout room. ज्वाइन कर लीजिए आप लोग, मैं रूम नंबर 2 में ज्वाइन कर।
क्वेश्चन क्या था?
क्वेश्चन ये है, हाउ कैन वी बी मोर कंसिस्टेंट इन अवर स्पीच प्रैक्टिस। हम लोग कैसे ज्यादा कंसिस्टेंट बन सकते हैं। Do you want to go first, Sanjay?
हाँ संजय, हाँ ये स्टार्ट संजय। संजय कुशवाहा या ओझा, कौन शुरू करना चाहता है? Who wants to begin? संजय कुशवाहा या संजय ओझा? हाँ ठीक है, कुशवाहा। हाँ संजय बताइए कि हाउ कैन वी बी मोर कंसिस्टेंट, मतलब हमारी स्पीच थेरेपी को लेकर, जो हमारी जो सेल्फ हेल्प को लेकर जो प्रैक्टिस है स्टैमरिंग को लेकर, उसमें और कंसिस्टेंट कैसे हो सकते हैं।
या ओके सर। सो आई थिंक अगर हमें लाइक किसी भी चीज में कंसिस्टेंट रहना है, देन आई थिंक हमारे पास एक प्लान होना चाहिए कि जैसे मैं मॉर्निंग में उठा तो मैंने एक प्लान बनाया, ओके आज मैं ये चीज प्रैक्टिस करूंगा। एंड देन नाइट में सोने से पहले मैंने रिव्यू किया, ओके आई हैव डन दैट थिंग्स एंड आई हैव डन दैट थिंग्स, ओके दैट थिंग लेफ्ट, देन व्हाई लाइक आई लेफ्ट दोज थिंग, देन उसके लिए फिर मैंने न्यू प्लान क्रिएट किया, ओके तो नेक्स्ट टाइम मैं इस तरह से चीज़ों को एग्जीक्यूट करूँगा। आई थिंक कंसिस्टेंस रहने के लिए हमारे पास एक प्लान होना चाहिए एंड उसको रिव्यू करना चाहिए, ओके ये फायदा हुआ या हुआ। आई थिंक दैट्स फ्रॉम माय साइड।
We should have a plan and we should review it. बिल्कुल ठीक है, थैंक यू संजय। ओवर टू संजय ओझा।
सर इसमें ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि कभी कभार क्या होता है, हमने शेड्यूल किया होता है शायद 15 मिनट्स का या 10 मिनट्स का, लेकिन ऐसा होता है कि कभी कभी हम उतना भी नहीं कर पाते हैं। तो अगर हमारे पास जितना टाइम है, शायद 1 मिनट 2 मिनट या 5 मिनट, तब उतना कर लेना चाहिए, क्योंकि समथिंग इज बेटर देन नथिंग। और कोशिश करें कि मतलब जब ये करें तो थोड़ा सा उसको एंजॉय करें, मतलब जैसे लाउंज मीटिंग में आ जाए, या जो हमारे एसएचजी है अगर हमारी सिटी में, तो उसको ज्वाइन कर लें। तो कोशिश करें कि इसको थोड़ा सा ना एक बोझ ना बना के ना, इसको एक एंजॉयबल एक्टिविटी बनाया जाए।
राइट, मतलब ये कि practice should have achievable small goals, and every achievement should be celebrated so that mind associates practice with a enjoyable experience, not just a boring discipline. ठीक है ना?
हाँ सर।
ठीक है, तो small goals and regular rewards. ठीक है, डॉक्टर अर्जुन, व्हाट डू यू थिंक?
सर आई थिंक दैट अगर हम लोग ज्यादा रिजल्ट में फोकस करेंगे तो if we get benefit then we leave it so because I've got sufficient benefit, or if I don't get benefit I will get disheartened and I'll leave it. Either way I'm going to leave it. So I think if we can forget the result part of it, just do it because you enjoy doing it. जो भी है, whether it is speech therapy or you want to learn guitar or you want to learn a new language, if you are doing it because you enjoy doing it, then I don't think we need any motivation. We don't need motivation, we don't need inspiration if we are involved in the process. So if we can gradually try to let go of that notion that that is where I want to reach, that is why I'm practicing. So if there is that predetermined end point that I want to achieve, then I think my entire practice will be slightly uh, contaminated. It is not going to be a pure practice. So I think if we can just enjoy whatever the result is, and even with respect to our stammering, I think it is not just this lifetime. There may be lifetimes of that conditioning which has gone on. So some people say I have been in TISA for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, or even now I stammer, but we don't realize that there are lifetimes of conditioning. So 5 years, 10 years is a very negligible amount of time. So I think if we start focusing on enjoying our speech more, as you say, as accepting our stammering more, then you will enjoy the journey.
Right. So how can we make practice more enjoyable?
Sir, I think first of all, by learning, we need to enjoy the art of speaking. I think if we are in love with it, we will keep doing it. And if we can let go of what we want to achieve, forget what we want to achieve, just try to make our speech more enjoyable and more fun, more interactive. I think if we can focus on those things, then I think enjoyment will become a natural byproduct of that.
Over to Vikas. Vikas, what do you think?
Yeah, means
A young man who joins TISA, he doesn't want to do any bouncing, he doesn't want to stretch, he doesn't want to do prolongation, but he has joined TISA with great hopes. And now I or you tell him कि तुम सैटरडे संडे को ऐसे जी मीटिंग में जाओ और बाउंसिंग करो. अब how can we make it enjoyable for him? Because for him it is not enjoyable. For him to even when he can speak fine, we are asking him, don't speak fine, bounce. अपना नाम बोलो, बी विकास ऐसे बोलो, तो उसको मजा तो आएगा नहीं इसमें. इसीलिए वो 2 दिन बाद छोड़ देता है. तो what advice can we give him? How can we ask him to think about this whole thing in a new way so that it becomes enjoyable?
Yeah, like firstly, I would like to say, like I had different goals in my life related to speech, and over the period, like I have realized the best one is what Arjun just said. So it's more like say if during our one day, if say we are speaking for 5 hours, and if we can learn to enjoy those moments really well, and though it's really hard basis what's our background is, and like how we have lived in those situations so far, whether we are at workplace or in our personal life, and so on. So maybe what I have realized, like if we can uh just have this thing in mind, the time that we spend with TISA, be it in lounge meetings or SFG meetings, there it's easy to change that mindset. Just very simple. I am going for 1 hour just to enjoy speaking there. That's it. And that enjoyment might come in various forms. It's like I'll just play with my speech more. I'll just like prolong today a lot more, and then laugh in a very slow, like slow mode, and so on and so forth. It's like like when we are being child, then we love the moment more. And then I think slowly mind learns, like that 1 hour of being in TISA, when we enjoy, then mind is getting fine-tuned slowly in real life as well. And maybe by not thinking much, but I feel that if we can just be with TISA activities, just with this thought that maybe I will spend a few minutes daily, and maybe 1 or 2 hours on weekend, just to enjoy, and that will change my life in non TISA moments as well. And but I don't have any goal for me for 5 months, 6 months, 1 year. I'm like I'm fine to take it as long as that will take.
I think what you're saying is this, what I understand, that speech practice if we think of, I mean, if we the company, the people's, the context in which we are doing speech practice, the people in whose company we are doing speech practice, the overall framework in which we are doing speech practice, that if we change that and make it very positive, then speech practice can become fun. For example, if I am doing 1 hour slow reading in my own home, it can be a very boring thing. Maybe after 1 month I will stop. But if I am doing some speech practice in a park with a group of people with similar motivation, like Afzal, दिल्ली में हमारा अफजल है और हमारा ग्रुप है, उस ग्रुप में जाके हम कर रहे हैं, तो then the whole thing becomes totally reframed. So it is no more an exercise or practice. It is fun having fun with friends. I would like to give one more example. I sometimes do gym because it is next to my home on my street. But actually what I really enjoy in the name of workout is trekking in the Himalayas. तो अभी मैं देवबंद के मैं चक्राता में गया था. For 4 days I was walking in the wilderness, up and down, up and down. By evening I used to be so tired. I'll be dead by the time I'll get into my sleeping bag. So that workout compared to the gym which I am doing now, जमीन पाताल का फर्क है दोनों में. There's huge difference between the two. One is chalk, other is cheese. And gym is like chalk because when I go to gym, everybody around me has got this very serious business kind of approach कि मेरे को ये 5 बार ऐसे से करना है, मेरे को 10 बार ये कर्ल करने हैं, मेरे को 50 बार ऐसे अप एंड डाउन करना है. So they are working with weights in a very mechanical way, and they're doing it because they think it's a discipline which their body needs. And I am also doing the same thing, and I feel it so uninspiring. But if I go for a trekking, then I'm doing same kind of cardio there, क्योंकि पहाड़ पे चढ़ रहा हूँ, उतर रहा हूँ अपना पीठ पे वेट लेके. I'm getting same kind of workout, but it is but it's so much more fun because after every 2 step I look around and it's a different scene in the Himalayas. I take another 2 step, then I'm looking at a very different kind of tree or rock or something. So कहीं पे I think so, sir, I think the frame in which we are doing speech practice, the context in which we are doing speech practice, the people with whom we are doing speech practice, all this decides whether we will be able to stick to it consistently or not. It will be easier to be consistent in a vibrant group like Delhi SHG. Unlike going to a therapist or to some clinic driven by this feeling, I am broken, I need to be fixed, and therefore I must do this. Have I got it correctly, Dr. Arjun? What do you think?
Yes, sir.
So
I
context,
totally
so context
agree,
हो
sir.
गया. हाँ, so context हो गया, framework हो गया कि किस frame में हम उसको देख रहे हैं. Are we seeing this whole thing in the frame of I am broken, I need to be fixed, and so therefore I must do this practice for next 6 months? Or we are seeing it in the framework of कि अफजल का मैसेज आया है, आज बड़े मजे आएंगे, दिल्ली में हम लोग ये करने वाले हैं. Overall framework is meeting old friends, and then whatever happens, let it happen. Then probably we'll bounce, we'll still do all those things. So I think this is one thing. And second thing, और क्या हो सकता है? संजय ने बोला था कि it should be structured, we should have a little bit of planning, and we should review it also. To that, I would like to add that whenever we want to change something, the number one step is to start documenting it. जैसे लोग कहते हैं, if you want to improve your time management, first thing which you should do for next 7 days, note down all the time which you spent on different activities. Make a note for 7 days, and then analyze how much time have you spent on social media, how much time on sleeping, how much time on gossiping, how much time in daily life activities. Because then whatever you do will be informed by hardcore data. So what Sanjay is saying, we should have a plan and we should review it also. कि पिछले 7 दिन में मैंने कितनी बार प्रैक्टिस करी, बाउंसिंग कितनी बार करी, स्ट्रेंजर कॉल कितने बार किया. So this also is very important. What else could be important for being consistent? अर्जुन का पॉइंट ये था कि fall in love with the process so that you are no more dependent on the goal. कि मुझे वहां पहुंचना है. When that is not the goal, then you really stop at every step and look at the scenery, look at the trees, look at the forest, enjoy the trek. What else? What else can be important? संजय ओझा,
Sir,
क्या
and
सोचते हैं
also
आप?
one more thing
हाँ
is,
हाँ बोलिए अर्जुन, हाँ बोलिए प्लीज, गो ऑन.
one more thing is, sir, whenever we meet for this self-help groups, we can make it more fun or more interesting by, sometimes we can go out for movie, or sometimes you can go out for lunch. We can make it more of a friendly meeting, and when that is the foundation which is there, then you can work on everything else related to speech as well. So if our,
Yes.
and it is more of an arena where everybody is allowed to express themselves. So there is no holding back at all. Whatever feelings, whatever frustrations, etc., etc. It's a very friendly environment where you're free to unburden yourself.
Right.
And once you're free of all that, then I think it's very easy to work on the techniques and whatever it is. So I think it would be nice if we could meet more often, or meet sometime even without planning, go out somewhere, more of a get together. And once the comfort level increases, say for somebody who just joins TISA, so if that
Yes.
sort of comfort level is increased in SIG meetings, I think they will want to keep coming. They will not want to leave at all.
Right. And I would like to just add one thing to what Dr. Arjun said, that SHG meeting should consistently happen every Sunday. You cannot have random meetings. 6 महीने में एक बार हो गई, फिर 1 महीने में 2-4 बार हो गई, फिर 1 महीने में कभी हुई नहीं हुई. Meeting should be consistent, but within that consistency, you can create scope for randomness. So in one meeting, everybody will just have a cup of tea ordered by the tea stall next to the park. But in the next meetings, suddenly, some people bring pakode from their home. In some meeting, instead of having snacks in the park itself, everybody goes out to the nearby eating place. So some random event happening randomly will make the meetings very attractive and very unpredictable, because when the joy becomes predictable, then it is no more joy. If you know that every day when you go home you are going to have the same cup of coffee, then it is no more joy. But one day you get coffee, one day you get lemonade, one day you get something different, one day you get a fresh orange. So randomness and consistency can be combined. I think Vikas will understand this, how when people make video games, they combine these elements in the programming. So some things are happening consistently, but some things are happening randomly. And that makes the joy so much more. So ये एक एलिमेंट था. एक बात मैं और कहना चाहता हूँ कि प्रैक्टिस, the nearer it comes to our regular life, it becomes easy to practice consistently. मतलब संडे को जो हम कर रहे हैं SHG में, if it comes closer to our lifestyle, हम संडे को फ्रेंड से मिलते हैं, गपशप करते हैं, चाय पीते हैं, समोसे खाते हैं, अगर यही हम प्रैक्टिस में भी कर रहे हैं, then practice will be easy to do. But if practice is removed from our daily life, from our daily experience, to something very unusual, exceptional, like going to some clinic and doing something with a therapist there, then consistency will be difficult in that case. So the challenge is this: how do we bring our speech practice closer to our lifestyle without diluting its challenge? अजनबियों से बात तो करनी है, पर कभी कभी वो अजनबी हमारा कोई फ्रेंड भी हो सकता है, कोई हमारा बैचमेट हो सकता है 10 साल पुराना, कोई हमारा रिलेटिव हो सकता है जिससे हमने कई सालों से बात नहीं करी है. इज इट मेकिंग सेंस? संजय ओझा, आप समझ रहे हैं?
यस सर, मतलब प्रैक्टिस को डेली लाइफ का पार्ट बनाया जाए।
हाँ, मतलब प्रैक्टिस हम जिंदगी के बहुत करीब ले आए, इतना करीब ले आए कि प्रैक्टिस प्रैक्टिस ना लगे, बल्कि एक जिंदगी की आम चीज लगे. आमतौर पे जब हम लोगों से कहते हैं ना कि मेक 2 स्ट्रेंजर कॉल्स एवरी मॉर्निंग, उनका पहला सवाल होता है, मुझे स्ट्रेंजर कहाँ मिलेगा? अखबार अखबार आता होगा, अखबार में विज्ञापन कहाँ मिलेगा? उसने कुछ पलट के पूछ लिया तो उसके पास मेरा नंबर चला जाएगा, वो मुझे बाद में पूछेगा तुमने मुझे क्यों परेशान किया. तो मतलब when things are removed from your life, then people see only difficulties. But instead of that, if we say talk to your Tauji, phone your Tauji tomorrow morning. Now he cannot say which Tauji. Phone your brother-in-law. Now he cannot say which brother-in-law. Phone your batchmate who were with you in BTech. Which BTech? Which batchmate? He cannot talk like this. So ये चीज हम लोगों को करनी है. मतलब we also sometimes fail because when I counsel people, sometimes I also make impossible demands on that person. When I say talk to 2 strangers, maybe I also have to change my understanding of practice. और क्या कर सकते हैं to be more consistent in practice? अच्छा, कंसिस्टेंसी, हम लोग जो कंसिस्टेंट नहीं होते हैं प्रैक्टिस में, इसके पीछे क्या साइकोलॉजिकल रीजंस हो सकते हैं? कुछ हमने कवर कर लिए कि हमारी प्रैक्टिस जो है वो बहुत ही अनहोनी सी चीज है. हाँ, बोलिए संजय.
सर मैंने सर ऐसा ऑब्जर्व किया है कि सर एक मेंटल वाइसनेस होता है कि हमारा जो पुराना सेल्फ है वो बदलना नहीं चाहता, वो एक सर्वाइवल के मोड में होता है, तो वो हर लॉजिक
Right.
देता है कि हम ये चीज ना करें, या बीच बीच में विड्रॉल सिम्टम्स देता है।
Right. हमको डिमोटिवेटिंग मैसेज भेजता है. एवरी टाइम यू स्टैमर, दैट्स ओल्ड सेल्फ विल से, देखा क्या फायदा है बाउंसिंग करने, तुम अभी भी हक ला रहे हो. इंटरव्यू में कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया तो ओल्ड सेल्फ बोलेगा क्या फायदा तीसरा में होने से, कुछ नहीं होता, तुम अभी भी इंटरव्यू फेल कर दिया तुमने. तो ये सच बात है कि हमारा ओल्ड सेल्फ जो है वो लाइक ए एडिक्ट wants to keep away from change. तो इट विल कीप ऑन सेइंग कि नहीं नहीं, इट्स नॉट वर्किंग, इट्स नॉट वर्किंग. तो ऐसे मौके पे हम अपने आप को कैसे डिमोटिवेट होने से बचाएं? सोचो विकास, आप
I
जब
think
अपने जॉब में बहुत दुखी हो जाते हो, डिमोटिवेट हो जाते हो, तब आप क्या करते हो? तब क्या याद दिलाते हो अपने आप को कि ताकि आप मोटिवेशन आपका बना रहे?
okay, मतलब
सर
yes yes
विकास के हाँ, विकास के बाद में आपके पास आ
Yes.
रहा हूँ संजय कुशवाहा. हाँ,
yeah
यस
मतलब
विकास.
आई थिंक सिंपल तरीका को तो ये है कि लाइक जस्ट ज्वाइन टिसा एक्टिविटी. यदि मान लो वो सेम डे को मिल जाए तो बहुत ही सही है. जस्ट ज्वाइन दैट एंड देन शेयर कि आज मेरे साथ ये हुआ था. एंड आई थिंक सो दैट sharing can help to come back new day with a fresh thought.
सच बात है, बिल्कुल सच बात. और लोग इतना फीडबैक देंगे तुम तंग हो जाओगे, अब बस करो, बस हो, मैं ठीक हो गया, अब मुझे और नहीं चाहिए. तो संजय आप क्या बोल रहे थे? संजय कुशवाहा.
हाँ, Yeah. Y- 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 y-
संजय कुशवाहा, थोड़ा
y-
प्रोलॉन्गेशन करना, जरा प्रोलॉन्गेशन करना फर्स्ट साउंड पे। आप क्या कह रहे थे? ऐसे प्रोलॉन्ग करना।
Yes, sir.
नहीं नहीं, ऐसे बोलना, यस सर।
Y- Yes, sir.
बहुत बढ़िया। अब हर वर्ड को शुरुआत में प्रोलॉन्गेशन करना। चलिए बताइए क्या बोल रहे थे आप?
जस्ट वन सजेशन संजय, आप में भी 30 सेकंड तक भी प्रोलॉन्ग कर सकते हो आराम से, ताकि माइंड से सारा टाइम प्रेशर चला जाए। ये लोगों को जबरदस्ती सुनना पड़ेगा।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, स्वागत है एकदम, बिल्कुल। हाँ बोलिए संजय।
Okay, sir. So, like, मेरा जो एक्सपीरियंस रहा है कि प्रोकास्टिनेशन का, फर्स्टली वो
हाँ।
यह है कि जब भी मैं कोई ऐसा गोल सेट कर लेता हूँ जिसमें लाइक काफ़ी हार्ड होता है मेरे लिए उसे अचीव
हम्म
करना, कि जैसे मेरा
हम्म
कंफर्ट जोन लाइक इतना है और गोल सेट के लिए मैं काफ़ी आगे का,
हम्म
देन उस टाइम मैं काफ़ी प्रोकास्टिनेशन करता हूँ। एंड सेकंड
हम्म
चीज़, लाइक जैसे आपने पूछा कि
हम्म
अगर मैं डीमोटिवेट हो रहा हूँ कि
हम्म
मैं डेली बेस पे मैंने प्रैक्टिस की है,
हम्म
बट फिर भी मैं ऑफिस में
हम्म
अपना इंट्रोडक्शन नहीं दे पाया या कुछ भी हुआ,
हम्म हम्म
उस टाइम मैंने एक चीज़ रियलाइज़ की है कि हमें अपनी फीलिंग्स को हटा के फिर सोचना होगा कि ओके फीलिंग्स कुछ भी हैं, बट उस टाइम क्या चीज़ करना है उसी पे फोकस करना है, कि फीलिंग्स को हटाओ एंड ओके इस चीज़ पे मुझे वर्क करना है। आई थिंक वो चीज़ इम्पोर्टेंट है।
राइट, एकदम ठीक कह रहे हैं, बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहे हैं। अच्छा, अब मैं डॉक्टर अर्जुन से पूछना चाहता हूँ। डॉक्टर साहब, यू डिड एमबीबीएस, देन यू डिड पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन, सो आपने बहुत सारे साल पढ़ाई में बिताए। तो पढ़ाई करते करते कई बार ऐसा होता होगा कि मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, ये कब खत्म होगा? देयर मस्ट हैव बीन टाइम व्हेन यू मस्ट बी गेटिंग फेड अप, demotivated. Then how did you motivate yourself to complete your post graduation, become a radiologist? What did you do to motivate yourself?
Sir, I think those are all my pre TISA times. So, and those were very difficult times actually. I think the major demotivation was my speech itself, sir. So, especially during post graduation, we needed to give a lot of seminars and lot of presentations. So, that was a huge Herculean task for me. And I mean, the moment you have one or two bad experiences, that will keep playing on your mind. So, and my friend would tell me, why don't you uh, uh, practice, do some mirror practice and come for your next presentation. But I used to live in such deep denial. Didn't even want to practice. I didn't even want to look at myself. It was like there was one part of me which was separate, which I myself didn't want to see. Uh, so what I did during those times was, it was a bit difficult, but I kept going on. So, I mean, uh, yes, there were times when I felt, oh, it's very difficult. What do I do now? And because once I had to go for this state conference in Nainital or somewhere, where I needed to present in front of so many doctors. And it was the first time that I was going on to the stage in front of so many people. And even before going there, some few months only, there were mental blocks. I knew that definitely I'm not going to be able to say what I want to say. There will be blocks, and likewise, whatever I thought happened beautifully. I mean, I was not able to say so many things, but one thing that used to keep sort of motivating me was that despite that, I used to still give seminars because I had no other choice. So I think that kept motivating me that, okay, whatever it is, you are still continuing, and it's not like you have failed your examinations, and you are doing your best. So you keep doing your best. That kept sort of motivating me that whatever it is, I am still alive. Nothing is, no, I'm not dead yet. So it's okay.
Good, 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 Dr. Arjun. Over to Vikas. Vikas, you want to make some
Yes, sir.
comment.
I'll
Go on.
I'll say a bit quickly as time is less.
No, take your time. Take your
Okay.
time.
So then, there's one thing that I am practicing these days to maintain consistency towards the goals and to maintain motivation as well is I just keep checking on my consciousness level. So consciousness level means if my mind is more at peace, love, acceptance, then consciousness level is high. And if my mind is having shame, guilt, fear, anger, pride, then my consciousness level is low. Then I have seen with me, if I maintain my mind's consciousness level high, then my energy is mostly high throughout the day and it's not draining fastly. I can I am more aware about my failures or any mistake that I have done. I have more empathy as well, and I more e- enjoy my day. So these things is helping to not be anxious about result, but just keep doing the things and be more productive.
This is very high level intervention, high level, where you are being introspective regularly throughout the day. Because normally what happens that our attention it is turned
तो वो आता है तो वो आता है तो फिर प्रोसेस हो जाता है ऐसे। थैंक यू।
Thank you.
everyone
Okay.
back. Sorry, I was a little late.
That's okay.
Okay. So shall
Should-
we ask a group to summarize their findings?
Sure.
Which group wants to go first? Group 1 or 2? And who wants to volunteer for that?
Let's start with 2. How about we begin with 2? Yeah.
Why not? Yes.
Anjay has his hand up already. So go ahead.
He's already volunteered. He doesn't know what he is volunteered for. Anyway, but संजय,
हाँ सर बोलिए।
हाँ बोलिए संजय, बोलिए आप समराइज
मैं-
कर दीजिए जो डिस्कशन हुआ था,
हाँ।
समराइज कर दीजिए उसको।
काफी अच्छा डिस्कशन हुआ, बहुत सारी बातें हुई, जितनी मुझे याद होगी मैं उतनी बता पाऊंगा। पहला तो जैसे संजय कुशवाहा ने बोला था कि हम है ना अपनी प्रैक्टिस को प्लान और शेड्यूल कर सकते हैं जिससे हम अच्छे से अपनी प्रैक्टिस कर पाए। बाकी मेरा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू था कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि हमारे पास टाइम कम होता है, जितना टाइम है हम उसमें प्रैक्टिस कर लें, क्योंकि समथिंग इज बेटर देन नथिंग। और जो अर्जुन जी ने बोला कि हमको रिजल्ट पे फोकस नहीं करना है, उस प्रोसेस को एंजॉय करना है। और जो विकास सर ने बोला कि जो हमारा जो प्रैक्टिस का फ्रेमवर्क होता है वो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि जैसे हम एक स्पीच थेरेपिस्ट पे चले गए कि हम ब्रोक हैं, हमें जल्दी से फिक्स कर दीजिए, वो बहुत बोरिंग हो जाता है। हमारा प्रैक्टिस का फ्रेमवर्क ऐसा होना चाहिए जैसे हम अपने पुराने दोस्तों से मिल रहे हैं। बाकी कभी कभी ऐसा भी होता है हम इन इन इनकंसिस्टेंट हो जाते हैं, जिसका कारण होता है हमारा मेंटल बायसनेस। वो पुराना सेल्फ चेंज नहीं होना चाहता। तो उसके लिए विकास सर ने सजेशन दिया था कि अगर हम डीमोटिवेट फील करते हैं तो हम लॉन्च मीटिंग में अपने सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप में उस चीज़ को शेयर कर सकते हैं, जिससे हमें बहुत सारा फीडबैक मिल सकता है।
I think he has covered everything, and I have put it as a text also, the whole thing, and I have sent it out as a text message. So this is what basically discussed. So group 1, who wants to volunteer? Other than Dr. Amit Bajaj. We shouldn't be bothering him with that kind of task. बोलिए, हाँ बोलिए अंकित, हाँ बताइए आपके ग्रुप में क्या बातचीत हुई, समराइज कर दीजिए।
हेलो,
हाँ
गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन। तो हमारे ग्रुप में मेनली ग्रुप 1 में मेनली ये बात हुई थी कि हमको कंसिस्टेंसी मेंटेन कैसी रखनी चाहिए, मतलब उसके लिए टिप्स कुछ दिए थे। तो रजत ने बोला था कि बहुत बार क्या होता है कि इमोशनल हिट हमको मिलता है, जैसे हम सपोज हमें हमें कोई भी रैंडम पर्सन ऐसा मिला कि जिसकी बात हमको हिट कर गई, तो वो भी हमको कंसिस्टेंसी लाने में हेल्प करता है। और रजत ने एक पॉइंट और भी बोला था कि कम्युनिटी बिल्डिंग, इसलिए कि जैसे कि टीसा ग्रुप है, तो 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 अगर हम उसके पार्ट हैं तो हमको हेल्प मिलती है, मतलब हमको एंकरेजमेंट मिलता है कि हमको इस पे ध्यान करना चाहिए। तो बहुत बार क्या होता है कि कम्युनिटी बिल्डिंग से भी हेल्प मिलती है। और ध्रुव ध्रुव ने एक पॉइंट रखा था कि मेक इट अ होलिस्टिक हैबिट एंड इट्स लाइक मेक इट अडेप्टिव बिहेवियर, लाइक आपको आपको अपने डेली रूटीन में उस चीज को अडेप्ट करना है। जैसे मैं डेली उठ के ब्रश करता हूँ, तो वैसे ही मेरे को उसमें अडेप्ट करना है कि मैं डेली उठ के प्रैक्टिस भी करता हूँ, बेशक वो 5 मिनट हो 10 मिनट हो। मतलब हम स्टार्ट तो कर सकते हैं 5 मिनट 10 मिनट से। तो इन सेंस हमको उसको अडेप्टिव बिहेवियर में कन्वर्ट करना है। एंड थर्ड पॉइंट जो मैंने रखा था वो था प्रायोरिटाइज। बहुत बार हम चीजों को प्रायोरिटाइज नहीं करते, जैसे कोई फंक्शन आ गया या मतलब कुछ भी आ गया तो हम मेन चीज को नेग्लेक्ट कर देते हैं। तो हमको प्रायोरिटाइज भी करना चाहिए। तो ये मेन ये 3 पॉइंट ही हुए थे डिस्कस। थैंक यू सर। यू आर
over
ऑन
to
म्यूट
Dr.
सर।
Amit. Over to Dr. Amit.
I think that's a nice combination of factors that we have talked about as a group. I just want to emphasize a couple of things. I really liked what Sanjay reported about planning and schedule. That is obviously very important. And you also said that if you have 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you may have a less amount of time, just do something, because something is better than nothing. think that's a very important principle. I've also heard the quote, I don't know if you heard it, that don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Just because you cannot, right? Just because you cannot devote the allocated time for practice that you had planned doesn't mean you'll do no practice at all, which is kind of the point I was making as well in the group कि अगर आपको टाइम नहीं, अगर आपको प्लान किया है कि मैं 4 लोगों के साथ आज वॉलंटरी स्टैमरिंग करूंगा कम्युनिटी में, ठीक है, आपने नहीं किया, नो प्रॉब्लम, नेक्स्ट डे डिसाइड ऑन वन थिंग. अगर आप सब्जी वाले के साथ बात करने जा रहे हैं और हकला रहे हैं तो डिसाइड कीजिए कि मैं आई कांटेक्ट के साथ आज हकलाऊंगा. बस एक छोटी सी चीज, वन स्मॉल थिंग. It doesn't have to be anything big, which is what Dr. Srivastava is also writing in the chat. Small tasks done on a regular basis. That is a very powerful concept. It ties with closed-ended practice. One small thing, but only one small thing, but regular. You can also make a gym connection with it. अगर आप gym जाएंगे, तो frequency is more important than the intensity of the exercise. You may not lift 40 pounds, you may lift 10, but you go to the gym every day and lift the same 10 pounds every day. That is more important than, lifting a heavier weight. That's the kind of comparison is over there. And then I love the idea of enjoying the process. Enjoying the process is very important. Make it interesting, make it exciting, make it fun. अगर आपने किसी के साथ वॉलंटरी स्टैमरिंग किया, आज आपको अच्छा लगा वॉलंटरी स्टैमरिंग करना, एम्पावर्ड फील किया, give yourself a little reward, जो भी खाना है, जो भी पीना है, think of yourself as a reward. Think of that little thing as a reward. Because all this is very helpful. Shifting things slowly over time is very, very helpful. I had a great day today. I voluntarily stammered today. I self-disclosed to 2 people today. Okay, I've had a great day with my speech. I'm going to earn a little reward, little tap on my back. And I think I was making the point in the group as well that if, learning to advocate for yourself is a skill. Self-advocacy is a skill. अपने लिए वकालत करना सीखना एक skill है. और उस skill को हमको, I think it's important that we learn that skill because we will have to advocate for ourselves for life, right? So learning how to advocate for yourself is really, really important. So I think linking the behavior, जो भी behavior आप practice करना चाहते हैं, to a bigger value. Like to me, all these acceptance practices I like to talk about, whether it's voluntary stammering or self-disclosure or anything like that, is very important to me as a value because it fulfills 3 functions in my life. One is it allows me to be a role model. And it's very important for me to be a role model, I feel, because if I'm talking about a behavior, talking about teaching a behavior, talking about my students, about practicing, then I need to show the behavior, right? So role modeling is very important. Self-advocacy is very important because I firmly believe that if I don't advocate for myself, nobody else will. I can't expect somebody else to advocate for me as an adult. I'm not a child anymore. So learning advocacy is very important. So connecting voluntary stammering, self-disclosure to the advocacy component is very important. And then every time I self-disclose, every time I voluntarily stammer in front of somebody, it's also an act of education. मैं listener को सिखा रहा हूँ कि जो भी व्यक्ति के साथ आप बात कर रहे हैं, जो हकला रहा है, उसके साथ कैसे बर्ताव करना चाहिए. What should be the communicative behavior? So linking the practice to a value is very important for me as like staying grounded in it. One point I wanted to make about prioritization. I think prioritization is very important. We talked about this in our breakout, but I want to not everybody was there, so I'll say it out loud. It's very easy and very normal for things to fall aside. कि मैंने प्रैक्टिस करनी थी, नहीं कि एक हफ्ता हो गया एग्जाम्स हो रहे हैं, मुझको लाउंज अटेंड करना था, एक हफ्ता हो गया, 2 हफ्ते हो गए. इट्स वेरी इजी टू फॉल ऑफ, राइट? वेरी इजी टू गेट इट ऑफ योर रेडार. बट आई थिंक पार्ट ऑफ प्लानिंग इज टू से कि ठीक है, मेरे एग्जाम्स आ रहे हैं, मैं 2 हफ्ते के लिए, 3 हफ्ते के लिए ब्रेक लूंगा. सो इफ यू मस्ट टेक अ ब्रेक, टेक अ ब्रेक, दैट्स फाइन. लेकिन डिसाइड कीजिए कि 2 हफ्ते की ब्रेक है, 3 हफ्ते की ब्रेक है. अगर आप किसी चीज को ओपन एंडेड रखेंगे कि अभी तो एग्जाम आ रहे हैं, बाद में जाऊंगा, जब एग्जाम खत्म होंगे तब जाऊंगा, लेकिन अगर मैंने डिसाइड नहीं किया, अगर मैंने उसके ऊपर नंबर ही लगाया कि 3 हफ्ते के बाद जाऊंगा, 4 हफ्ते के बाद जाऊंगा, तो वो 4 हफ्ते जो है 5 हफ्ते हो जाएंगे, 6 हफ्ते हो जाएंगे. इट विल फॉल ऑफ द रेडार. So whether it is a reminder that you put on your fridge or on your room or whatever it is, कि for 3 weeks I will not do X, whatever the X is, whatever is important in my life, but I'm going to set it aside. You can do that. We can all do that, but it's very helpful to put a number on it and say, इतने time के लिए मैं नहीं करूँगा. In some counseling workshop many years ago, I learned about something called a growth decision and a deficiency decision. A deficiency decision is, I want to, let's take a simple example, right? I want to work out, but I am not able to work out. And maybe I'll work out tomorrow, or work out, day after, or maybe next week I'll work out, or whatever it is. That's a deficiency decision, because then all of a sudden you're in ill health, you're out of shape, and then you say, okay, now I should work out because I've gained 5 pounds or 6 pounds or whatever, right? Then you sort of wake up and you sort of do it. That's a deficiency decision. A growth decision is, I'm not going to work out for 3 weeks because I've got X going on, but after 3 weeks I'll work out, or something like that. So planned break is much better than an open-ended break, because obviously these things we're going to go in and out of this. This is a journey. This is a long-term journey. So
does anyone else want to share something, some of their secrets of self motivation? हाँ, बोलिए रजत, बोलिए.
सर मैं एक अमित सर के लिए रिमाइंडर बताना चाहूंगा कि उन्होंने बोला था कि मेन सेशन में अपन डिस्कस करेंगे. तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि कैसे कुछ लोग होते हैं जो 10 साल या 20 साल, तो 25 साल तक एक काम को कंसिस्टेंट रहते हैं. उनके माइंड में ये होता है कि मेरे को कंप्लीट करना है, और हो, ऐसा होता भी है वो कंप्लीट कर देते हैं. और यदि नहीं भी होता है तो वो ये सोचते हैं कि चाहे कुछ भी हो जाता है, डेथ हो जाए या फिर जब तक सांस है मैं इसको कंप्लीट करूंगा. तो ऐसी उनमें क्या चीज होती है जो इतने लॉन्ग टाइम तक कंसिस्टेंट रख पाते हैं? तो शायद मेरे अकॉर्डिंग में कुछ ना कुछ होता है ऐसा. तो ये मेरा क्वेश्चन था सर.
Unmute, Dr. Amit, unmute.
it's a very good question. Ajit is asking $1 million question. What is the secret sauce? Right? What is the secret sauce that lets somebody do something on a regular basis for so long? Every day, every other day, what is the secret ingredient? What is the secret sauce? So he asked the question. I had my own response to it, but I want to hear from everybody else. What do you all think? जो लोग लगातार किसी चीज पे लगे रहते हैं, उन लोगों की सीक्रेट सॉस क्या है?
I think संजय ओझा, विकास और ध्रुव, ये सभी लोग they are fully entitled to to answer this question, because they did have some kind of secret sauce. हाँ, बोलो, कौन शुरू करना चाहता है? विकास, ध्रुव, संजय, अर्जुन, anybody, any one of us.
So that means I think Dhruv should start it. I heard from Dhruv when I was in Mumbai that why he is keen on climate, to work on climate
Yes.
change for his whole
Mhm.
life.
Huh. For last many years, he has been
Whole life.
he has been bashing this idea.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's like well, at least for me and the other people I've seen who are consistently working on things for a long time, like for example, Dr. Sachin or Dr. Amit or all of you guys who are like, you know, working on stammering work for so many years. I think it's like realizing that this is so important. Like it's more important than myself. Like it's something like it's kind of like I guess a larger perspective that there is some change that has to happen in the world. And if I can help make that change happen, that movement happen, then I need to try no matter what. So every day I'm going to wake up and think about it and do something about it. And the second thing is also, I think, like keeping yourself, like I kind of like said like in our breakout room, healthy, keeping yourself healthy. So mentally, emotionally, physically healthy. You know, I'm taking out space, so then you're not burning out in the sense. And the number three, I think, is like finding that the contribution you're making is actually bringing you joy. So it's instead of burning you out, in fact, it's recharging you every time you're in an SSG meeting or you're talking about that thing you care about. So it becomes something that's so integral part of your life that it's, you know, it's important to you. It's bringing you joy as well. So you want to keep on doing it. It's something that you have to do now because it kind of becomes who you are. Yeah, I think that's
Beautiful,
that's
Dhruv.
lovely. I
Thank you
love the
so
way-
much.
Yeah, thanks. I love the way you phrased it. Something needs to happen in the world. I love that line. Something needs to happen in the world, and I can do my own little stuff to make it happen in the world. Just a little thing. It's good. The world needs to change in this way. And it may never change in my lifetime completely. I mean, but I'll move the needle a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit on a daily basis to make it, because something needs to change in the world, a goal that is beyond myself. Yeah, that's very well said. I love that. Mentally healthy, mentally fit, very essential. Contribution is giving you joy. These are very important things. And I would say contribution is giving you joy. Also, you're feeling empowered by it.
Yes.
Right? It feels good. If voluntary stammering is not feeling good, you're not going to do it. If self-disclosure is not feeling good, you're not going to do it. So if it feels good, if going to a virtual lounge and talking about your experience, if it's not feeling good, you're not going to do it. You may do it one more time or two more times, but it's not going to be part of you. So something is, your contribution has to give you joy. That's tremendously important. What were you saying, Vikas?
Yeah. So like, you know, just to share my views on the same, like, you know, what have been my realization so far. So like, you know, I have realized it whenever we choose any work that we want to do in our life, uh then like, you know, when we think deeply, then if that work is reducing suffering of someone else or ours, or increasing happiness of someone else and ours, and the happiness that's long term and not giving any side effects as well as somehow, like, you know, we think short term pleasure as happiness too, but those are just short term pleasure with lot of side effects, and like drinking, smoking, and so on, so forth. Uh, we can go. So then, like, you know, when we link our work with either reducing suffering or increasing happiness, then we will realize it's a very long-term work to do that. Like, say, if we start a business, and we know that what value we will build and what value we will add, then that we can say to add that value for very long term, then business need to see all weather. It's all highs and lows. Otherwise, one economic slowdown or recession can shut your business as well. So then if you are thinking that, hey, I want to give this value to the world, and when we start to give that small value, then we will realize that's not 3 4 5 years game, that's a whole life game. If we measure value, that whether I have given that value to the world or not. So then that's why I have realized now, if we have to really give some value in the world, then we have to choose a domain, and they just think that I want to give some value in this domain, and then keep working there. There are chances that after failing for first 10 to 15 years, our mindset can learn. I have learned so many ways of failing. Now I can add some value.
Having a long-term view. Long-term view is very, very essential. I think that is what is linking with this point, is what a point that Arjun also made earlier. You have to enjoy the process, which is another way of saying your contribution has to give you joy, right? If your contribution is giving you joy, you're enjoying the process. And then you're not thinking about results as much, because to Vikas's point, this is a long game, right? It's much easier to focus on results in a short-term situation. But in a long-term situation, you genuinely have to enjoy the process without results and see what happens. Yeah. Thank you. Excellent. Very nice points. So hopefully
And
this
just
was
one
helpful,
thing, sir.
guys. Yeah. What were you going to? Yes. What were you going to say, Arjun?
As of for those of us who have seen the movie uh, Kung Fu Panda, where in that movie there is one phrase where the main character in the movie is the bear. It is the panda. It believes that its father, the uh, panda's father is cook, and so this panda believes that there is some secret ingredient that his father uses, which makes him so famous. And at the end, his father tells him, "Now I'm going to tell you what was that secret ingredient that I used to use." And then he tells him, "The secret is that there is no secret ingredient. You just involve yourself in what you do, and you believe that it is beautiful. That itself will make it beautiful." So I don't think that there is any secret mantra or any secret funda which only a few of us know. I think we all know it deep down. It's just about being involved in what we do joyfully. Automatically, whatever we deserve will come to us. But when we are enjoying the process, ultimately the result won't even matter for us. Whether it happens or not, that becomes secondary, because we are enjoying the process so much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's particularly important when you're doing something tough, right? When you're doing something hard and challenging, enjoying the process is even more important. So All right. Thank you. I like that quote from Vikas. I've learned so many ways of failing. Now I can add some value. Okay, guys. I need to take off. So again, lovely seeing you. I think we are wrapping up, right? Soon, Srivastava, this round.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you have got some work, don't hesitate to leave, huh?
No, I was
We can
talking about
always.
the number of weeks for the TOPG. Aren't we coming to the end of the period?
Yes. I think last meeting is on 13th May or 13th June. I
13th
think
June.
is it
We
June
have
or
time.
July? I think it's end of June or first week of July.
Okay.
I'll check the date and pass it on to you.
Take it. All right. So whatever is the next prompt in the sequence, Dr. Srivastava, maybe you can announce it and we can go from there.
I just wanted to share my little story also.
Of course.
Has anyone heard about Viktor Frankl? Viktor Frank. So he's a psychotherapist, and he's talking about a real incident that somebody came to him with bag full of complaints. My wife is no more. My wife died. My eldest daughter, she died. She ran away or whatever. My knees hurt. I've lost my job. So this old man is constantly talking about complaints, bad things, bad things, bad things. Finally, Viktor Frankl asked him, why don't you kill yourself? Why don't you die? Why are you alive? Question sounds very rude, but the man, he gets a shock, and he says, and he looks at the Viktor Frankl, and Viktor Frankl says, yes, I mean, if life is so intolerable, how is it that you still go on living? So this one question stopped the man in his tracks, and the man says, I've got a little son, and I must take care of this little son. That is the reason why I'm still alive. So in the same way, so when going goes tough for us, when our practice becomes very boring, when in spite of practice we are failing, interviews or whatever, that's the time when we should be asking, why do I want to become fluent? Why do I want to become a good communicator? But what is my distant goal? I mean, as they say that when going becomes tough, you should be asking, why did I start in the first place? तीसरा मैंने ज्वाइन ही क्यों किया? TOPG मैंने ज्वाइन ही क्यों किया ज्वाइन मैंने? किस लिए ज्वाइन किया? So sometimes it is good to revisit your old motive, your earliest first motive. And if you can keep in touch with that, it will go on motivating you. I mean, in TISA, all of us, Harish, Dhruv, we all had all kind of ups and downs. Bad things have happened. Trusted colleagues have left and started their own their own stammering cure center, unlicensed. But we keep on asking ourselves, so why did we start TISA? So when we remember that what was that pain or that memory of our childhood suffering which made us do this thing, then we forget all frustration and we start all over again. So that's all I wanted to say. So Viktor Frankl has really talked a lot about this. He said, any suffering can be tolerable if you can find some meaning in it. So any speech practice you can breeze through if you can find some meaning in it. If you cannot find any meaning, then no amount of our TOPG is going to, to sustain you forever. Okay.
That links very well with some of the new writings by this person here, Dhruv knows and Chris Constant. He talks a lot about the fact that stammering is easy to accept if you can find some gain in it.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Specifically, if you can find some gain in the stammering experience, it can be easy to
Yes.
accept. It's like that's coming to me as you're talking about that. And
Yes.
you've addressed it in your own writings and what you've said in your own, in your YouTube videos, that it's like a portal. If you can, if you can think about stammering as a portal, or any long-term chronic condition, if you can see it as a portal towards growth, towards development, then it's much easier to find meaning in it as well. He talks about it very specifically as in sharing your vulnerabilities is important because it shows, it connects you to somebody else. We're all vulnerable. We all have issues. So he talks about it in terms of, if I reveal my vulnerability to you, I'm opening the door for you to reveal your vulnerability to me. So it becomes more of an intimate exchange between you and me. What was mundane becomes meaningful because now we are sharing a vulnerability that is connecting us to the larger human experience. So that's his interpretation of gain, but gain can be very unique to all of us, right? It's like, what is a gain for me is different from a gain is kind of a different as a gain for you. All right, guys, thank you. This was a very, I feel uplifted through this conversation that we've had. So everybody have a nice week, and we'll see each other next Monday again. All right, guys. Bye.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Great fun. Okay. 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 Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir.